ആ ഗോ ലൈവ് കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ടോ? വരുന്നുണ്ടോ? സ്റ്റാർട്ട്. ആ ആ ആ സ്ട്രീമിംഗ് കൊടുത്തോ. വീണ്ടും വീണ്ടും വരുന്നുണ്ട് അത്. ഒരു കഷ്ടം. ഓക്കെ, സ്റ്റാർട്ട് സ്ട്രീമിംഗ് കൊടുത്ത്. സ്റ്റാർട്ടായോ ലൈവ്? ലൈവ് സ്റ്റാർട്ടായിണ്ടോ? ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ. അതൊന്ന് മാറ്റി കൊടുത്ത് ഒന്ന് കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ നോക്കാലോ. ലൈവ് സ്ട്രീമിംഗ്. ഓക്കെ. ശബ്ദമോ? ബാനർ ഇട്ടോ കുഴപ്പമില്ല. തുടങ്ങിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഓക്കെയാണ്, ബാനർ ഇട്ടോ. ആ കണ്ണിന്റെ ചിത്രം. ആ ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ. മറ്റേത് ഓഫ് ചെയ്തോളൂ. ആ ആ അത് ഹൈഡ് ചെയ്താൽ മതി. ബാനർ ഇട്ടോ കുഴപ്പമില്ല. തുടങ്ങിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ആ മതി മതി മതി. അപ്പോ ഇതിലേ ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഓഫ് ആക്കിക്കാള്. ആ സമയമാകുമ്പോ മറ്റേ നോക്കിയാൽ മതിയേ. ഓക്കെ. അല്ല, ആ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യുമ്പോ ബാനർ മാറ്റിയാൽ മതിയോ എന്ന് പറയാം. ആ ആ അതെ, OBS ഓഫ് ആക്കി വെച്ചോളൂ. ഓൺ ആക്കാൻ മറക്കരുത്.
contribution to us. He continues to work. I think nobody can beat him in his continuous hard work. Every week, I get 10 books which he has translated to Hindi, which surprise me every time when I get it. I really get. ഒരുപാട് പുസ്തകങ്ങൾ മലയാളത്തിലേക്ക് കുട്ടികളുടെ തർജ്ജമ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ധാരാളം ടോയ്കൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. കഴിഞ്ഞ 50-55 കൊല്ലമായിട്ട് പരിഷത്തിന്റെ സുഹൃത്താണ്. ഓൾ ഇന്ത്യ പീപ്പിൾസ് നെറ്റ്വർക്കിന്റെ സുഹൃത്താണ്. പൂനെ കേന്ദ്രമാക്കിയാണ് അദ്ദേഹം പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്നത്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ വലിയൊരു സ്ഥാപനം തന്നെ പൂനെയിൽ അദ്ദേഹം ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്തെടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പോൾ റിട്ടയർമെന്റ് കാലത്ത് അദ്ദേഹം സ്വന്തമായി ഈ പണി ആവർത്തിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നു. അതാണ് അരവിന്ദ് ഗുപ്തയെ കുറിച്ച് പറയാനുള്ളത്. I will explain briefly this program. This is part of a festival which we have undertaken to kind of upcycle. It's an upcycling festival meant to kind of deal with various kinds of waste. There are about 12 different programs, and your program is one among them. I'll give you one example. The earlier program was give us a sari, we'll give you old saris, we'll give you bags. So large number of people all over Kerala will be donating their old saris. We give expertise to transform them into sanjis or bags. Similarly, various kinds of waste items, how to upcycle them. This particular program is meant for school teachers who will create material, interesting experimental materials of various kinds, toys and other things from out of waste. And more than 1,500 schools are involved in this program. About 10,000 teachers, more than 3 lakh children will be. The idea basically is to kind of make use of the toys that they make to spread across the state. We will choose the best. Some prizes will be given to the best toys that they make. And we will popularize it all over the state. State government and KSSP's own IRTC, part of IRTC, will be supporting this campaign. This is briefly it. So I won't take more of your time, and I want to leave you with the teachers. We welcome you very sincerely for all those who are listening, and that's it. Thank you very much for being with us, Aravind.
Thanks a lot, KK. Now I'll just try to make myself. How do I make my full screen? Yeah, so that's very nice. Thank you very much, KK, for the introduction. I must recall that in I did a BTech from IT Kanpur, and then I joined Tata Motors in Pune to work as a graduate engineer trainer. After 2 years of working in telco, I took 1 year study leave in 1978 to work with the very famous Hoshangabad science teaching program. It was a kind of an activity-based program, how to make science fun for village children using very simple models based on local materials. So I worked there for 6 months, and then I went to Trivandrum, 78, to work with my hero. He was my hero, Laurie Baker. I did electrical engineering. I had nothing to do with civil engineering. But Laurie Baker, I thought, was the only living architect who had designed for the poorest people. He designed a fishing village, houses in the church for very, very poor people. So I worked with him for 4 months in 1978. Laurie Baker had also designed the Kerala State Institute of Languages. And that's where in 1978, I first stumbled across Kumar, and we've been friends ever since. Now, this is in 78, when I went to Hoshangabad Science program, I thought that we can't have these glass burettes and pipettes and these fancy equipment for village children. We must use some local material. And so I said that I will go to the local market and buy one thing each which is available on the roadside. There was a weekly bazaar. When I was getting my bicycle inflated, I saw this cycle valve tube. Where you pump in air in the bicycle, there was a, it was 10 paisa per square feet for running fit at that time. Even today, for about 50 rupees, you can buy a 100-gram packet of cycle valve tube, which is 40 feet of the cycle valve tube. And this is what I started with. If you take two matchsticks go very snugly inside. And with this, you make a flexible joint of two. It's a very flexible joint. And you can start by teaching angles to children. This is an acute angle, this is a right angle, obtuse angle, straight angle, reflex angle. Right from 0 to 360 degrees, you could depict any angle. If you had three of them, three valve tubes and three bits of cycle and three matchsticks, you could weave them together and make a triangle. And it's a very special kind of a triangle. It's an equilateral triangle because matchsticks are mass produced in a factory, so they're equal length. So all these angles, some of the angles of a triangle are 180 degrees, so each angle will be 1/3 of 180 or 60 degrees. For the first time, children get a feel as to what 60 degrees is. With 4, you make a square. With 5, you make a pentagon. You make a hexagon. And these polygons have very interesting properties. Suppose you look at suppose you inspect the hexagon. Pull this out. It's flexible. It's like an amoeba, which is constantly changing its outer profile. If you pull this out, this becomes a rectangle. If you push it in, it becomes a parallelogram. But it's very, very shaky. The pentagon, it looks very regular, all angles equal. If you pull this out, it becomes a boat shape. It's like a trapezium. If you inspect the square, right now all the corners are right angles, but you give it a little push, it becomes like a kite. It becomes like a rhombus. It becomes like a burfi, right? Shape, but very, very shaky. Then you give a child a triangle, and no matter what she does, a triangle remains a triangle. It doesn't shake at all. The triangle is the only rigid polygon. All these are very shaky. The triangle is rigid and stable. If you see any house in a village, and the ordinary people have known about this, people who have never studied engineering, but they've known it through their own experience, through their own struggles. If you go to a village house, you will find that no truss is ever made out of a square, because you put tiles on top, the truss is going to collapse, the roof will collapse. You never make a bridge with square members, because the train would come, the bridge would start doing a dance, it would collapse. So the triangle is the only rigid polygon. And this is the bedrock of all civil and mechanical engineering, and school-going children could actually feel it. And so this is what I did the first month when I went to Hoshangabad Science program in 1978. And this made me very, very happy. Now, similarly, if you take this joint of 2, you make a hole inside with a thorn or a needle and push a third matchstick. And then what do you make? You make a T-joint or a joint of 3. If you take the triangle now, make holes in the 3 vertices, and you can embed all the 3 legs in the 3 corners, in the 3 valve tubes, then what you would make would be a very wonderful 3-dimensional structure. Now, this is in English is called as a tetrahedron. This is made entirely of triangles. How many triangles? 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 triangles. Tetra in Greek means 4 hedrons, triangles, made of 4 triangles. And we just saw that the triangle is the only rigid polygon. There is a 3-dimensional structure made entirely of triangles, and it's just logical to assume that this must be a very fundamental kind of structure. Now, this is like nature's own brick. And school-going children can make very simple molecular structures. Now, this is what I've done is I've put 4 marbles. You can see 4 marbles. We have made a molecular structure of methane, CH4. 4 atoms of the hydrogen at the 4 corners of the tetrahedron. In the center is a little carbonate. So school-going children with very ordinary material would make this. Now, if you have 2 bits of valve tube, you could make a hole in one and weave the other through it to make a cross. and you can make a very nice joint of 4 like this. Similarly, with 3 bits of cycle valve tube, you can make a joint of 6. Now, these joints are flexible, they can take any angle, and they give you a lot of latitude to design. Suppose you take 2 squares, make holes, and put 4 legs, and you make a very nice cube. And on this cube, you can take, this is a pyramid, the famous Egyptian pyramids. On the top is a joint of 4. You can see this is a joint of 4. And you can put this pyramid on top of the cube, and you make a little village house for children. Similarly, you could take a prism, for instance, and on top of this prism, you can put a tetrahedron, and this makes like a village temple. You can make a octahedron. Octa means 8, hedrons means triangles, made of 8 triangles. You can actually spin it like a top. It's omnidirectional, symmetrical, and with this joint of 6, you make 12 joints of 6, but use only 5, and you make this icosahedron. Note this, at any junction, there are only 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not 6, only 6. And the nice thing about this is that you can flex it. And this becomes like an igloo. You can flex the top also. So this gave me a lot of pleasure. This was 1928. I was a 25-year-old young engineer. And for the first time, I thought that I'd done something which would be useful to my children. I designed something worthwhile. In 1985 came my first book, Matchstick Models and Other Science Experiments. Of course, the KSSB published it into Malayalam, but it came to 12 Indian languages. 10 years back, it was translated into Chinese. And I must say that I have shared all my books with Luca. They will put it on the website, and in one click, they're all in Google Drive. And if you click once, all my 25 books you can download for free. Share them with more people, share them with teachers, because they're worth sharing. Now, there's some wonderful things. I'm going to start with a small matchbox. Now, this is an empty matchbox, right? Empty matchbox. And this experiment was done 50 years back by the Vikram Sarabhai Community Science Center. You know, Vikram Sarabhai was the architect of India's space program, and he set up India's first community science center in Ahmedabad in 1968. And it was inaugurated by Sir C.V. Raman with a lecture, Why is the Sky Blue? Very popular, very lovely popular science lecture. In 1970, Professor Sarabhai died prematurely. And after that, the center was renamed, rechristened as Vikram Sarabhai Community Science. So they did this experiment. It's a fantastic experiment. Every child was given one empty matchbox. And a challenge was thrown in. You have a week's time. Fill this matchbox with little things around you, right? And the child who is able to fill in maximum number of specimens in this matchbox will get a big prize. Very simple to understand. And the children went home. One boy took a rubber and an eraser and a sharpener. Oh, and he said, I can't pack in more. The other girl went to the kitchen, was cooking poha. So he took a mustard seed, one cumin seed, one mirchi seed, red chili seed, one grain of rice, one moong ka dal, one hair, one strand of thread. And for the whole week, children were trying to search for little things around them because they wanted to maximize the number of things, specimens, which they could pack in the matchbox. There was a condition, no 2 specimens of one thing. You can't have 2 rice grains, only one single rice grain. A week passed like a jiffy. All the children came to school. They were asked to stand up and shake their matchboxes. And some children's matchboxes made some sound. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Well, if there are some voids, some empty spaces, it would make some sound. So they were out. Then every child was given a plate to empty out their contents. And trust me, one child had packed in 150 things in a matchbox. It is a fantastic science experiment. Low cost, costs no money at all, because science in the essence is not expensive laboratories. It is how critically we look at things around us, how how minutely we examine them. So this is a great experiment. And of course, you can make many toys using empty matchboxes. Now this one is you can see that this is like a railway line, two threads and an empty matchbox. And if my right hand, if I just shake, what happens to the matchbox? It's in this orientation. This right hand of mine, you can see the matchbox is traveling just like a train on two parallel threads. And if you stick a picture of a rabbit on it, it looks like a rabbit going hop, hop, hop. If you stick a picture of a lizard on this, it would look like a lizard climbing a tree. Just two matchboxes, just a matchbox, a long needle, and a thread. That's all you require for making this. But this is another one. A very nice experiment. Now this is once again, it's a matchbox. You can see this is the outer shell of the matchbox, and I have put in two paper clips over here, taped them, and the paper clips are popping out 2 millimeters outside, and I weave a thread. Then I take the drawer and insert the drawer, but the drawer is popping out. I want all the weight to be on one side. And now, if I keep the thread like this and I just leave it, you can see this matchbox comes in a very shaky. It's vibrating, shimmering, and coming down. A wonderful, wonderful experiment. It's based on friction and gravity, and even every poor child can very, very easily make it. I'm going to show you a few experiments with straws, and this is an ordinary straw. Plastic is not, nowadays, plastic has been replaced by the paper straws, coconut leaf straws. You take a straw and you flatten it. It becomes slightly soft and it flattens. From a circle, it becomes an oval. And then with the scissors, you cut two slants as to make a point. Now this is like a pencil point. This is like a spear point. See it from the side. It looks like a baby crocodile's mouth. And I'm going to keep this in my mouth and blow my lungs out. And it makes a very, very loud noise. You're not able to see how the sound is produced because the straw was hidden in my mouth. This is called as a reed, R-E-E-D, reed, which vibrates. Do children need to mug up for production of sound? We require vibrations? No, they can actually do an experiment. They can actually, now I'm going to keep this outside. Concentrate on this, and I'm going to suck in air. At this point, it's opening and closing at a very fast rate. It's vibrating. So children can actually experience it. They can hear the sound. It's very, very joyous. Now it's second. Very, very nice. Now what we've done is I've taken the same straw and we put two holes over here. You can see these holes. One hole over here, one hole over here. Just like in a flute. And this is my reed. I'm going to put the reed in my mouth and well, you can play a few notes with this. And one very nice experiment you can do, and which is, you'll never forget this, keep blowing through this, keep making the noise, and I'll keep cutting it while blowing. And you see how the sound changes. And this is something which you're not going to forget very easily. saw that the longer the straw, the lower the pitch. And as it became shorter and shorter, the pitch became higher and higher. And now you have this, which is a very, very high pitch, very high pitch. And a good teacher is one who every day learns from the students. He's a teacher, and that's why he's a learner. They say that teachers die very early. It's the toughest job on earth, being a teacher. They only bear it much later. But good teachers take children into confidence. Children as their partners, children as their friends, and then life becomes much more interesting. Now, this is what the children taught us. It was not documented in any book. This is how you can make very funny noises with this. You see, you can make all kinds of funny noises. And this is what the children teach you, right? So this is one. There are a few more experiments with the straws. Now, this is a little fat straw. And if you can see very carefully, we have cut 1, 2, 3, 4. These are V-shaped. You can see the V-shaped cuts with the scissors. Deep. Then I took a piece of thread, and this thread, I've made a loop here, wove it, brought it up here, and there is a knot here. See this knot. You can see the knot very clearly over here. And I just put a golden tape so that the thread doesn't come out. Now look at this. I'm just going to press this. Now this is like a robotic finger. Look at my finger. I pull this because of the V cuts, it comes down, but plastic has a tendency to go up, restore its original shape. So this is like a robotic. If you use 4 or 5 of this, you can make a robotic arm with this, right? Very, very simple to use. This is another very, very nice experiment with straws. Over here, we've just taken a fat straw, and I put the blue tape, flattened and sealed both the ends of the straw. And then with the scissors, I've cut top right, bottom left. So you can see that there is a hole over here. There is a hole in this. My scissors can go top right, bottom left. Lastly, I fold this into half and give it at the 2 corners. And you can see there is a V. Can you see this V? There's a hole over here. This is the spinning straw, and this is the one through which I'm going to blow. Ordinary straw, but you can see that there is I've cut a hole over here. This is the hole over here. There is a hole here. Why this hole? If I shut this head and if I blow, air would come out at right angles. Now this is my blower. I put the spinner on top of it. That's the other end of the green straw with my finger, and I blow. And note the direction of rotation, spinning. I'm going to take this and reverse this. The direction of rotation also reverses. This also, of course, it clarifies Newton's, it's an experiment to prove Newton's third law of motion, that every action is equal and opposite reaction. When I blow, air comes out from this hole and gives it a kick in this direction. Over here, air comes out from this hole and gives it a kick in this. And that's why we get a torque in this direction. A very simple spinner for children to make. Well, there are a host of toys which we make using very, very, all our old magazines and newspapers, we cut into little squares. So I've got a little square. And you fold the square into a triangle, right? Big triangle. Fold this again, and you get a small triangle. This is like the letter V, V for van, V for victory. Also looks like the ears of an animal. And now I'm just going to, no scissors, just tear these 2 ears, make them slightly longish and round, like this. And fold the cut one part to the front and the other part to the rear. 10 seconds and you have Mr. Rabbit. Hold the legs just below the body. If I hold the body, I can't move it. Just below the legs, below the body. And then if I grab the tail and move the tail forwards and backwards. This is what the rabbit does. It's a flapping ear rabbit. And if there is something dynamic, something moving, something rotating, it's a very, very attracted to a toy like this. It costs no money. Poorest child can afford it. And it will always bring a smile on a child's face. A thing like this. And then this is one of them. And if you use another square like this, well, in less than 2 minutes, you can make this flapping bird. Right? There's no glue, no scissors, just a square piece of paper in your 10 little fingers. And you make this very lovely. Children in Japan have been making this flapping bird for the last 300 years. This is documented history. It's a wonder, why can't we teach our children such good things to make? And what we did was, we did a very interesting experiment. We made the Japanese bird, and this, you can see, this is a Japanese bird, and this is a ball peen refill over here, and there is an ordinary ball peen. And we made a small helicopter. It's a fan-tailed bird. And if I hold this over here, I can move it like this, and the bird's the tail will is spinning. It's a fan-tailed bird. A very, very simple science experiment. You know, paper is an amazing material for making all kinds of toys. If there is, if you take an A4 size paper like this, ordinary A4 size paper, you just need a quarter paper. With a quarter paper, you can make this. And this is it. And what does this do? This is like a clapper. No glue, no scissors, and this is what this does. Oh, very nice. It's like 2 ears. You're clapping with your hands. If you make another one like this, well, you can go to the temple and pray like this, right? You can become a sannyasin, right? This is one. And many, many other things. This is a gift from a girl from China. The world is discovering how clever the Chinese are now. They are a superpower, and they have changed the power balance in the whole world. And this is little girl. She said that you've taught us so many toys, and this is a gift from this girl from China, which I documented in one of my books. And this is a small square. You can see a butterfly, a flapping butterfly. These are not complicated origami models. These are 2-minute models which children can make, and it gives them a lot of satisfaction, brings a smile on their face. They're deeply gratified with very simple toys like this. This is one. And now I'm going to show you, these are called hexagons. We start from over here. You see 1 picture, 2 pictures, 3 pictures, 4 pictures. Pictures come in a sequence one after the other. We start with butterflies. Butterflies are insects, and insects are eaten by the frogs. Frogs are eaten by the snakes. Snakes are eaten by the eagles. So you could put a food chain in this. It's amazing that paper can rotate like this. And there are all kinds of possibilities. And if you take an A4 size paper like this, if one side is printed, that side will it will get hidden, right? So 1 piece of paper like this, 1 scale and a pencil, that's all. And in 3 minutes, you can make this 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And once you make this, what you can use it for is just limited by your imagination. Because science is full of cycles inside cycles. You could make the life cycle for butterfly, life cycle for frog, life cycle of the seasons. Right now it's the monsoons. The monsoons will be followed by the winters. Then will come the spring, and then the harsh summers. And more than anything else, you can make lovely 3-dimensional cards. Suppose it's your grandmother's birthday. You say, "Happy birthday, grandma," and draw some flowers. And your grandma would be just twiddling her thumbs like this. Happy Diwali, Happy Eid, a Happy Christmas. You can make cards for all kinds of occasions. The nicest thing about this is that you can't buy this on Amazon. You can't buy this online. But if you're clever with a A4 size paper, waste paper, a scale and a pencil, you can make this in 3 minutes. And if you make a small one, well, you can make with small paper, you can make a small flexible. It's amazing. This was designed by a mathematician at Harvard in 1928. This is 25. In 3 years, this toy will complete 100 years. But very few people in our country know about this, right? This is another one. Now this is called as a 14-page unending book. You require two squares like this, two, not 1, 2, and you require a little bit of glue for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's the last page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's a 2-minute toy. And then once children make it, all children have a favorite story. They've heard it 50 times in the past. They know it inside out, but they're not bored with that because it's a fascinating story for them. So each child can choose her own favorite story and divide that into 14 parts and make pictures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. With the pictures in it, it's rotating, it's a dynamic, it's a magic picture book. And each child's picture book would be different and unique to that child. That's the possibility of this. And this is, you can see there are 2 straws. This is like the fatter straw, and this is the fruity straw. And you see, this is like a crane flapping her wings, right? This is, right. Now, similarly, now look at this. This is just any card sheet from a Colgate cardboard box, from a red label tea box. Don't throw away cardboard. Or it, flatten it and store it, and you can do many things. Now look at this. What is this? It's like a drummer. See the back side? There is a broomstick, eagle, and there is a straw over here. And straw is taped, and this eagle is moving up and down in this, and this is what it's doing. See from the side. It's like a drummer. Very simple toy to make. And finally, I'm going to show you one more very nice toy. Now look at this from very close by. You can see that this shoulder and this arm. Can you see this is a stapler? So one point of the staple over here, one point of the staple over here. And that's why it can rotate. Now here is the shoulder and the arm. One arm on the shoulder, one arm on the arm. And this can. Similarly, now all this is just made. Look at the kind of the acrobatics you can do. Look at the kind of animation you can do. And if I turn around, well, you can make a skeleton like this. And the skeleton does yoga poses, which I think even Baba Ramdev might find very difficult to use. Such lovely yoga poses you can do, right? Okay. Very, very nice. Simple materials, but with a lot of possibilities of making things, doing things. This is a toy. This is a thread reel. We use thread for sewing, and we didn't throw it away. Now this is from a book called as The Joy of Making Indian Toys by my friend, late Sudarshan Khanna. He just passed away 6 months back. Amazing man. He started at the National Institute of Design in Ahmedabad and then taught there for the last 40 years. At one stage, he started collecting India's folk toys. And this toy comes from that book. Now, this is a piece of thread, and I've tied a long piece of thread, and I've tied 2 bits of paper to it. Then I double the thread and I weave it through this thread reel. I put it inside this thread reel. Right. There it comes out, and then I hang it with my index finger. You can see this. This is it. Now, if I pull one of these papers and I pull this up, the other paper takes the reel up. Now I take the second piece of paper and pull it down. There is a lower thread coming and it hijacks it midway. So this is the motion. It's like a lift. Very, very intriguing motions. If you stick a rocket on this thread reel, it will look like a rocket going to the moon, right? Children, with their own imagination, can use it for a lot of things. Yeah, this toy also comes from Sudarshan Khanna's book. Now, look at this toy. This is an eagle. The broomstick from the coconut front. The poorest house would have this. You take a long stick and a short stick. And the short stick is at an angle. And you tie it with the thread very tightly. This toy certainly must have come from Kerala. Because children take baby coconuts and they poke it into the baby coconut to give it some weight over here. Where I live, there are very few coconut trees. We certainly don't have it in our colony. So I just took an eraser, an old rubber, and I poked this into this. Now there is a little weight hanging over here. The toy is very simple. I perch it on my index finger. This is the big long side, this is the short side. And I spin it towards the big side. Now, this is like the Sudarshan Chakra. Centrifugal force, centripetal force are very big words for little children. When they play with small toys like this, are they able to lend some meaning to these very abstract concepts? And there is a sequel to this. There was a boy in Pune who was very inspired by this. And you can see the second toy is structurally quite similar to this. But for the fact, there are 2 long arms. And what did this 4th standard child imagine to be? He thought that he had made a satellite. A satellite has got these solar panels to collect the sun's rays and produce electricity to power all the controls in the satellite. And the satellite spins around the earth. So this was a very nice imaginative toy. This is the satellite for this little 4th grade child. Very simple, with the poorest children. One of the purposes when I started doing work was, we said we are not designing for children in Pune, not in Maharashtra, not in India, but the poorest children on earth. Any part of the world should benefit from our work. Hence, toys from trash. We have, if you go to my website, arvindguptatoys.com, you'll find there are 8,700 short videos. These are 2-minute videos on each of these toys. And there are many, many Indian languages. Unfortunately, we were not able to find partners to dub our videos into Malayalam or Bengali, two of the most progressive states in the country. But they are in many of the downloads, thousands, millions of downloads from China of our toys. One day, the Chinese will make them into commercial toys and sell it back to us, because we don't have that kind of either the zeal or the entrepreneurial skill to do this. Now, another one of the toys from Sudarshan's book is this. And it's a very fascinating toy. Now, look at this very carefully. This is a capsule, old capsule. And this is a steel ball bearing, which is used in a bicycle pedal. Now, I put this steel ball inside this capsule so I can feel it shaking. Then I just make a little tray like this. It's like a V shape. Can you see this cross-section V shape? And I just put this and look at what happens to this. It just moves very nicely. Oh, look at this. Once again, please. A very nice I'll just lower my, now you can see it much better. Very fascinating toy. This also comes from Sudarshan's book. Well, I'm going to show you. We make many pumps. There are 31 pumps on my website. Probably no one in the world makes 31 pumps. And we have documented them into books, into photographs, into short films. Now, here's a pump with which, if you have a balloon, you can blow up a balloon with a pump like this. It's a real pump. If I keep doing like this, the balloon would pop, it would burst. And we have a slogan on our website: the best thing a child can do with a toy is to break it. It's a very provocative statement. It's to make people look up. Why? Why do children break toys? Not because they are terrorists or they are very aggressive, because they're the only curious chaps left. They want to know what is inside the tummy of this toy. And a good toy design is one which children can take apart and put it back again. Now, you see, this is old cycle tube, just a little cycle tube. This is a film can. And I put you can see that there is a small, you can see this. If I blow from here, open, close. This is green light, this is red light. This is go, this is stop. One-way traffic, I've made a mechanical valve. Very nice valve. That was my suction valve, and in the lid of the second one is the delivery valve. And then this is just a little plastic straw for the air to come out. So that's it. 3 of this. No glass parts. Children can pull out and see and satiate their curiosity. What is inside this pump? How on earth does it work? And this would get them interested in science. They must do practical things in this. Here is something very fascinating. You just take some thin wire and wind it on a fat pen to make a spring, and then pull the spring out. This becomes like a helix. And what we have done, this is a long helix, and I put some, you can see red. These are colored straws: red, yellow, green, and blue. And if I hold it like this, it's like a spiral snake.
Can you show the left side? Can you show the left side?
Very simple toy to make. This is, you would say, where's the science in this? I think play is very important. Play is much more important than science. Children who don't play as children, right? They grow up and they make missiles, they make bombs, they make guns, right? But children who play are happy inside. They don't want to hurt others. They don't want to kill others. So play is very important. Play is the most important thing. Children who don't dislike school, but all children in the world like to play. Play is very serious business, much more serious than science. Because if you played as a child, you'll grow up to be a very happy individual, not like to harm others, or kill someone because someone believes in a different God, someone eats different food, or speaks a different language. You're not going to hurt. So that's why play is so essential. There are some others. Now this is very fascinating. Now this is an old CD. CDs, DVDs, you know, right? Now they used to hold very small amounts of data. Now we have the cloud. They are literally terabytes can go in. So they've become passe. They've been discarded now. What we did was, you see this, there is a marble over here. And I just put some glue and stuck the marble. I use Fevi Bond. People who use Fevicol also make a rubber glue called as Fevi. And of course, Kerala, there is no doubt that Kerala produces the most rubber, so there's rubber lube. Now, this is, if you see from the side, there is 2 millimeters of this popping out. And I'm going to spin this. This is a thali. I'm just going to spin this. Now, this has got all the attributes of a great top, a low center of gravity, a large moment of inertia. And if I spin it, the CD spinner would keep spinning for more than 2 minutes. Amazing stuff. Look at this. And with you can have 2 of them together, spin them, have numbers on this and numbers of this. Whichever numbers come together, children have to multiply them. Children have to add them. Using your imagination, you can make hundreds of toys with this. But this is an amazing spinner. If you keep this, you can see these 7 colors. It's like Newton's disc. If they're kept in a stroboscope tube, old tube lights, which on off, 50 cycles in a second, you would see them white. You would see this white because all the 7 colors coalesce and they show you white. Now this is fascinating. Now this is an electric motor. Now the most expensive thing in this motor is this battery. The battery, it's a 1.5 volt torch battery. It costs about 40 rupees, right? It is metal clad. So if I take 2 ferrite magnets, these magnets are 1 rupee each. And they stick on the top because this is mild steel cladding. These are 2 safety pins, long ones. And what is this black thing? This black thing is good, humble cycle tube. I just cut a rubber band from it, about 1 centimeter. And this is a broad rubber band, and it keeps both the safety pins in touch with the plus and the minus of the battery. So there's 1.5 volts across these. If I were to attach a small torch bulb, it would glow. It will not burn very brightly, for that you need 3 volts, but it will glow. And now, this is a small coil. We have a permanent magnet. We know that when current flows through a copper coil, it becomes an electromagnet, right? And the interaction of the permanent magnet and the electromagnet makes this motor work. Now, I'm just going to slip in this coil in the eyes of the 2 and give it a little twirl. And there you are. There's this. Now, this is the simplest motor on earth. This is not a rich man's toy. If you have a battery, it will have 5 rupees at today's rates. You can't get a cup of tea for 10 rupees. And this is not. But imagine millions of our children go through high school and they've never made a motor. And this is a very mutilating way of learning science. I did electrical engineering from IIT Kanpur. 25 years back, they gave me the Distinguished Alumnus Award for IIT Kanpur. And the electrical engineering department wanted to honor me. And I just told them that I studied in this institute for 5 years. But it's much later that I learned how to make a small motor. So our education system is quite rusted. There is no emphasis on doing things with your own hands, of making models. And unless we promote this tradition, we're not going to go very, very far. So this is the electric motor. Millions of children have made this. It's a fail-proof model. No matter what goes wrong, you can repair it and you can make it work. And there lies the challenge, to make it work. Well, if you make it work, then you see all the Faraday's laws of induction, which children have studied in theory, they stand out clear to you. What does Faraday's laws of induction mean? They stand out clear to you. And it's fun, absolutely fun to make this, right? There's another one. Now, this is fascinating because this is called as a generator. This is an old syringe, a 10 ml old plastic syringe. We don't need the needle. We just need the plastic bottle. Now, these are 2 very strong magnets. These are neodymium magnets, rare earth magnets, right? China has clamped the world. they made life hell for EV manufacturers across the world by restricting the supply of rare earth magnets. But there was a time when you could buy them for 20 rupees each. And there are two of them, and they're so powerful that you can't separate them, right? And the nice thing about these ones was that they go into the barrel. Can you see the magnet go up and down this barrel? And I put a stop over here. So this is my magnetic circuit. Then I take thin insulated copper wire, 36 gauge, and I wind this coil. How many turns over here? 1,000 turns. Children take half an hour. They do like this and keep counting. And the start and the end of the wire, you scrape and you just put a LED. This is the LED over here. Now you see, I can just move this magnet back and forth. It's like a moving magnetic field. It's an extremely powerful magnetic field which is going back and forth. It is cutting the lines of forces. And there is an EMF generated and it lights up. Look at this. What happens to the LED? We've actually made a generator, right? If you have a 230 megawatt generator, the principle remains exactly the same, right? It doesn't change. But imagine a girl in a backward region of a country where there are 4-6 hours of power cut every day. If a girl makes a model like this, it is truly empowering. You would say, today I light a LED, tomorrow I light up my village. This is true empowerment. We need both theory and practice. Just theory doesn't take us too far. With a lot of practice, you just become a practical mystery, a mechanic. But if you combine theory and practice, you go to much higher levels. That's why these models for us. And this is, of course, a very, very fascinating model. And this is like a levitation. These are similar magnets. Now, these are the ring magnets I showed you about. Now, here is a piece of paper, or maybe a Hawaii chopper, or a piece of rubber, and they put 4 magnets over here. And here is a pen, and this got 2 magnets. They're in a particular orientation that this magnet must attract these magnets. So they're opposite poles. That's why they attract. Now, the rare magnets are all 3 are similar poles, and because of similar poles, they push it up. They repel, right? And the rare magnets repel, the front ones pull it. Now, they're pulling it. If I just put my finger over here, you can see this pencil is just hanging on my fingertip. I can feel the force it's exerting, and I can twirl it. But there is a lot of friction between the pen and my finger. So I take an old CD. This old CD can be cut with the scissors very easily. And insert, you can put a coin instead. And okay, just see. This is a levitating pencil, and I can twirl it. It levitates. Am I chanting a mantra? No, these are laws of magnetism which govern this. Whether I pray, I am atheist, which religion I subscribe to, doesn't matter. These are laws of nature which are independent of my prejudices. So it spins, it levitates, it writes. You can Google a girl's name. This is Dr. Padmanabhan's daughter. What's her name? Hamsa Padmanabhan. Professor T. Padmanabhan, I worked at the Ayuka Children's Science Center for 11 years. He was a brilliant Indian physicist, world class. 5 years in a row in the International Gravity Award, a Padma Shri Award. He has one daughter, Hamsa Padmanabhan, when she was in high school. And she was fascinated by this toy. And Hamsa wrote a paper, a scientific paper, explaining how this toy works. And she got a second international award. And later, a minor planet was named after Hamsa. You can Google Hamsa Padmanabhan. He wrote a paper. You go to my website, look at the levitation pencil, and you will find Hamsa's paper below it. So this is cost less than 15 rupees, right? But there are deep principles behind this. You look at China has pushed, they made leapfrogs in levitation technology. If you land up in Beijing airport, but the city center is 70 kilometers away, and you take a maglev train, within 10 minutes, you are in Beijing city. And it's a very, very comfortable ride. If you keep a glass on your table, it doesn't rock or wobble because the whole train is levitating. It's not moving on steel rails, right? So that's it. Well, I'm going to show you a few more things. And this is very fascinating. Now, this is the same two magnets. If I take two magnets and this is a cycle spoke, if I put them in a cycle spoke, what do you see? These ring magnets keep coming down. They keep whirling and they keep coming down. And the lower end of this oscillates because of the vibrations. You can see the spoke is vibrating, right? Now, what these are children of 7th class of a municipal school. It's called as a Vidyapeeth Shala. That's the only school in the premises of the 411-acre Pune University. And what these kids did, now this is a hoop from an old plastic bottle, right? You put the spoke, put the two magnets, and weave it through the opposite hole. That's it. Now, if I just turn this, look at this toy. These are 7th grade children of a municipal school. Children are not just consumers of knowledge, they are producers of knowledge. They can produce new knowledge because they look at the world with a new perspective. They look with new eyes. They do not biased. They can come up with but a whole system is based on rote learning. You muck up and you spit out these silly definitions and formula in the exam, and you get centum, 100% marks, which is such. This is a sequel of that. Now, the hell is a paper cup? Ordinary paper cup. Huh? I've just made a hole in the base of this and taken two magnets, one below, one up. Now, these two magnets, they stick to each other, north sticks to the south. And once again, the bicycle spoke. If I put it over here and give it a little twirl, fascinating toy. All from 7th grade children. These are the possibilities which each and every child in this great country holds. But we need to nurture that talent. And we have quite failed to do that. I think Kerala is far ahead from states like UP, where I belong to, right? There are, over there, communal discord, right? Law and order is the only issue. There's no concentration on health. There's the state doesn't concentrate on the education of the children. This is it. Now, this is another very nice toy. Same, take a bicycle spoke, and what I've done is, you see this very carefully. This is a card sheet on which I made this is a woodpecker, and I just made a small spring of copper wire and attached to it. And I put the spring inside a bicycle spoke. And if I leave it, you see, the woodpecker is woodpecking on the trunk and coming down. Earlier, in village fairs, we would get toys like that, but they have all disappeared now, right? Look at that story. Very, very simple. Now I'm going to show you some toys using Tetra Paks. There is a book of mine called Little Toys. I wrote this 30 years back for the National Book Trust. I don't know whether it's in Malayalam, but it's in many, many Indian languages. And the book said that don't pick up these Tetra Paks. They're terrible material for the environment, but you pick up a Tetra Pak from the roadside, and I'll show you how to make many toys out of it. Now, this is, you can see, this is the Amul Lassi packet. Amul Lassi packet. It's written over here 200 ml. You see very clearly 200 ml. I've written in big words over here. If you were to measure the length, the width, and the height, multiply them, you would get the volume of this parallel pipette. It's very close to 200, right? What I did was I made another box, made the height half of the previous box. So this holds, this is another measure for volume, which is 100 ml. And then I cut it in a quarter, and this becomes a measure for 50 ml. Now you see this is 100 ml, and I'm going to pour water in it. Fill it level to the very, very top. How much water inside this? 100 ml. You can see the water shaking. How much water have I drunk? 100 ml. And then I take my 100 ml cup and I keep it in my pocket. This is the child's own measuring cylinder. The whole day they'll be measuring 100, 200, 300. How much water have I drunk the whole day? Is that not a good science experiment? And they're very adventurous. They will also try out how much water they have leaked out. How much urine has come out. Now these are very lovely science experiments. And you can just see, so you have your own, you make your own measuring cylinders with this. And this is the one more thing with this. You cut an arc over here, and I've just cut one. If I can open this, this becomes like a funnel. You can see what's a funnel? A funnel is like a cone with a hole, and this is a very nice funnel. And if I water, very nice. Where on earth will you find a funnel which you can collapse and carry in your pocket? Fantastic experiment, right? Very, very nice. Okay. Now, you saw the icosahedron made with matchsticks and cycle valve tubes. If you have a fruit juice box, 1 liter packet of dhara, cooking oil, or fruit juice, you can make a template. Just using a divider, make a network of 20 triangles, and you can make this. And the nicest thing about this is, because it is, the Tetra Pak is terrible. You put it in water, it's waterproof. Because this is laminated aluminum, right? So many things. This is a wonder material which has changed the face of packaging the world over. My colleague Vidula was invited to Italy, and where she found that many women were selling Tetra Pak purses, right? Now here is a 1 liter fruit juice box, which you can fold. You can see it's a huge, there are 2 pockets over here. There's actually a 10 rupee note inside. You can put notes in one, you can put coins in one, and there is a little bit of Velcro, and you can seal them. And during monsoons, it's the best purse because it's laminated. Your money will never get wet. And this is handcrafted. It's upcycled, truly up your sleeve, all right? And this is how you make it. I'm showing this through a small, this is a 200 ml. You cut out the flap, and you take this and you push them inside like this, and then double this up like this, right? And then you take the middle of these 2 walls and you staple them. You can see the 2 pockets over here and a flap to close it. So these are some of the possibilities. So this book, Little Toy, shows big 30 toys. One of them is this, and this is a inside-outside cube. It's a fascinating thing. You see this cube. It's fruity all over, right? And then you flatten it, give it 1 or 2 more twists, and all the colored portion goes inside, and you have the aluminum outside. It's the inside-outside cube. The Tetra Pak is a terrible material from the point of view of the environment. If you look at this, there are 3 or 4 layers. There's a layer of aluminum, plastic, card sheet. So for any kind of recycling, you need to separate the aluminum and the plastic and the card sheet, which you can't do. So this is going to lie in a landfill for hundreds of years, right? So instead, pick this up and make a fascinating toy and upcycle this. Now this is something which I've been wanting to tell you for a long time. And this is, if you take an A4 size paper, this is half the A4 size paper. With this half A4 size paper, you make a model of a skeleton. This is Mr. Skeleton. With this full paper, you can make two of them. And with this, you just need a scissors and a glue stick. This is the skull, this is the rib cage, this is the pelvis, this is the tibia, fibia. A human body has 200 bones inside that. Fourth class children can easily make it, right? So we don't have too many biology models. This is one. But this model goes beyond teaching biology. Then you ask children, tell me, is this a skeleton of a man or a woman? No clue about it. Is this Mr. Jain? Is this Mr. Hussein? Or is it Mr. Lane? This model probes much deeper biases. Our minds have been poisoned. Hate that person because that person eats different food. Hate that person because speaks a different language. Prays to a different God. The Genome Project only demonstrated that 99.9999 of all of humanity's genes are the same. We share the same genes with everyone. So this is not just a biology model, but to probe our very deep biases, the poison in our minds, which this polity is doing. Right? Now, this is fascinating. This is from I'll start with a story of a very famous mathematician in Germany, right? Friedrich Gauss. This is 400 years back. Friedrich Gauss was in class 3rd. And at that time, there were very little paper. Children wrote on slates with the chalk. The teacher asked them, write from 1 to 100. That's not much of a challenge for 3rd grade children. And just the teacher said, add them up. And at the teacher saying, add them up, it started. 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10, 10 plus 5 is 15, 6 is 21. But as they came to do to 2-digit numbers, they were they were galloping very fast. But as they came to 2-digit numbers, they slowed down. And they came to the 20s and the 40s and the 90s, they slowed down even further. So they started like rabbits and they became like turtles towards the end. But Friedrich Gauss was just admiring the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 98, 99, 100. He said, look, the first number is 1, the last number is 100. 1 plus 100 is 101. 2 plus 99 is 101. 3 plus 98 is 101. 4 plus 97 is 101. Oh, damn it. There are 100 numbers. So there'd be 50 pairs. So 101 into 50, 5,050. This is what he wrote. And the teacher said, I have nothing to teach you, my son. You're very clever. And he made one of the greatest mathematicians in the world. And there is a book by one of my gurus, P.K. Srivasan, called as Number Fun with the Calendar. Now, you take any calendar, any month, any year, doesn't matter. Look at this. Take a grid 2 by 2 and opposite them. 1 plus 9 is 10, 2 plus 8 is 10. 15 plus 23 is 38, 16 plus 22 is 38. 3 plus 19 is 32, 12 plus 20 is 32. Maybe something wrong. Let's take a 3 by 3 matrix. This is 9 digits over here. 2 plus 9, 18 is 20, double of 10. 16 plus 4 is 20, double of 10. 9 plus 11 is 20, double of 10. The average of all these 9 digits is 10. If I were to ask you to add them up, well, their average is 10 and they're 9. So 10 into 9 is 90. So looking at patterns. At the essence of all science and mathematics is our ability to look at patterns, to find new patterns. All discoverers find new patterns in this. Look at this. Look at this line. Wednesday, April 2015. 1/8, the next Wednesday will come 7 days later, the third one on 15th, fourth one on 22nd, 29th. If you look at these 5 numbers, they are an arithmetic progression with a difference of 7. Now, which maths book ever tells you that there are arithmetic progressions in the calendar which you see every day? Right? Now, luckily they're 5. 1 plus 29 is 30, which is double of 15. 8 plus 22 is 30, which is double of 15. There are 5 Wednesdays. 15 is the average. 15 into 5 is 75. This is 16 into 5, 80. Look at the standing columns. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's arithmetic progression with a difference of 1, right? Now, 5 plus 7 days in a week, so we have a middle day. 5 plus 11 is 16, which is double of 8. 6 plus 10 is 16, double of 8. 7 plus 9 is 16, double of 8. Average is 8, 7 days. 7 into 8 is 56. Amazing stuff. Suppose last one, you were to add all these. Look at these. 4 and 7. 7 days in a week, we have a rectangle with 28 numbers. 3 plus 30 is 33. 9 plus 24 is 33. 10 plus 23 is 33. 4 plus 29 is 33. 8 plus 25 is 33. 6 plus 27 is 33. 13 plus 20 is 33. 28 digits. 14 pairs. 33 into 14 is a sum of all this. This is a beautiful book by P.K. Srivasan, which we translate into Hindi, into Marathi, into Kannada. I hope someday you will translate this into Malayalam, right? Amazing man. He wrote 60 articles for the Hindu. Maths with bus tickets, maths with coins, maths with the calendar, maths with broomsticks, maths with matchboxes, maths with bus tickets. He collated all of these articles of the Hindu into a booklet which we forced the NCR to publish, Maths Club Activities by P.K. Srivasan. You can look up my website. He was one of my heroes. I dedicated one of my major books, hands-on, to P.K. Srivasan. Very amazing man. Well, in the end, I'm going to show you 2-3 more things, and this is one of them. There is a piece of rubber. You can take a piece of slipper rubber. You can take a Hawaii slipper. I've just punched holes so that I can put 3 pencils inside these holes, right? Now you see, suppose this is a plane mirror. A beam of light strikes the plane mirror, it just rebounds back. It retraces its path. What happens if it's a concave mirror, right? We draw all kinds of abstract ray diagrams on the blackboard, which no one ever understands. Look at it, this concave mirror, all these 3 rays would meet at a focus. If it was a convex mirror, if it is a concave mirror, they converge at a focus. If it was a convex mirror, they diverge, right? And they meet back. This is one part of it. This also makes a splendid abacus, right? This is 1. Just put beads, 2, 3, 4. Only 9 beads can come, right? How to show 10? Take out all and put 1 in the 10th place. This is 10 and this is 11. If I put 1 over here, this becomes 21. This becomes 31. If both of them are full, you get 90 plus 9, 99. How do I depict 100? Put 1 over here. This is 100. This is 110. And this is 111. And if all of them are full, get 999, the maximum number you can show on your abacus, right? Now I'm going to show you. We've been making all kinds of caps. Now this is a gun. This is half a newspaper. Half. Newspaper is the cheapest paper, and just a few folds, and you make a Gandhi cap. Very amazing. This is the Nehru cap or the Gandhi cap, much demonized these days, right? You can also make with half a newspaper, you can make a cricket cap. This is Sachin Tendulkar's cricket cap. Half a newspaper, it's a cool cap. And you see, I have very little hair in my head. And whenever I go out, I wear my cap. And the nice thing about this cap is that you can fold this and put in your pocket. And when you go out in the sun, you can put it on. Excellent for Kerala, the hot sun, right? And in the end, I'm going to tell you one very lovely story. This is a very favorite story of mine. It's called as Topi Shankar, the story of Topi Shankar. Topi Shankar was a captain of a sea-going ship. Now, it was a passenger ship. And what happens usually is passengers are very excited. For the first time, they were going out into the sea. They had traveled in trains and aircrafts, but first time. But after a couple of days, all they see is a vast blue ocean, not a patch of land, not a tree. They become bored, they become seasick. Topi Shankar was an excellent captain. He saw that the passengers were getting bored, and he said he had a suitcase full of different kinds of caps. He invited all the passengers on the deck. Come in the morning, sing and dance, enjoy yourself. I'll provide you with good food and drinks. And Topi Shankar every day would wear a different kind of cap. Now this is a huge umbrella cap. If the captain stands on the deck, it protects him from the scorching sun, protects him from the rain. At night, when the passengers would go to sleep, Topi Shankar would take the same cap and give it one more fold. Then the second day, he'd be wearing a new cap. Now you've seen the fire brigade people. They wear a designer cap. There's a little chute at the back because they've got to work in very hazardous circumstances. They're going to enter a burning house and some rubble can injure the spinal cord. So they were designer cap to protect the spinal cord. So first, the huge umbrella cap. Second is the fireman's cap. Second night, Topi Shankar gave it two more folds. And third day, he was wearing an explorer's cap, an adventurer's cap, a shikari cap, cap number 3. And the third night, Topi Shankar took the same cap and then gave it two more folds. And this is a very, very famous cap. If you see any of these, I live in Pune, and we are not very far away, 3 hours away from Mumbai. And all our Bollywood films, if you look at the policemen, this is the Maharashtra police cap. It's called as a Pandu cap in Maharashtra. And because we make the largest number of films, Pandu cap is catapulted to international glory. So there are 4 caps. One is a huge umbrella cap, one is a fireman's cap, third is a shikari cap, and fourth is a Pandu cap or the cop's cap. And we must not forget that Topi Shankar, after all, was the captain of a ship. And that's a ship. And everyone is enjoying the journey very much, singing and dancing. And all good things must come to an end. And then there are clouds, and there was lightning, and there was storm, and the skies poured down like cats and dogs, and the sea was on fire. The sea was furious, huge waves. And what can a small ship do if the sea is on fire? His boat was rocking and pitching in the waves until one wave came and slapped the aft of the ship and knocked it down. Were the passengers happy? Terrible. They said, we'd come for a picnic and our ship is broken into 2. Another huge wave comes and slaps the front of the ship and knocks it down. And now the ship is sinking. Now, they say that trouble doesn't come alone. It comes in spades. Urdu में कहावत है कि बला अकेले नहीं आती, छप्पर फाड़ के आती. The triangular portion of the ship is called as a bridge. And a third huge wave comes and slaps the bridge and knocks it down. Now the ship is broken to pieces, to smithereens. The ship sinks. And Captain Topi Shankar has lost his suitcase with all the caps. All that remains is a life jacket. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I thank KSSP, Luca, the NGO, and the Education Department of the Kerala for giving me this opportunity to interact with the teachers. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please ask.
Thank you, Aravind. Thank you so much. You've done it again. Now, ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ ചോദിക്കാനുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ you can ask questions. If there are, he will take a few questions. He's talked a lot. So let us ask still 1 or 2 questions, 2, 3 questions. And if you have any doubts on all this, there are videos available on Arvind's YouTube channel, Aravind Gupta Toys. Everywhere there are books, there are also videos. All the toys that he has discussed, if you have to go into details, please go through that. And the links have been shared by Rizwan. Any questions, please?
Any questions, comments?
Anything you can.
Any
please
feedback?
raise your hand and shoot. Valentina, please ask your question. Valentina, somebody raised the hand. Normally people... Okay. We use Aravind Gupta strip, very useful for teaching.
Where do you post your latest videos now?
No, latest, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer 14 years back. I worked in the Ayuka Children's Science Center. I was invited by Professor Jayan Nadlikar to work there. And it was a great opportunity for me to work with him for 11 years. But 2014, I quit Ayuka because I had a medical condition. And now my cancer is spread a little to the bones. I think with medication, I live for another few years. But I have not posted videos for the last 10 years. These videos are made 15, 16 years back, which you see. Now I'm largely at home. I translate one children's book every day into Hindi. We've translated 2,000 books in Hindi because I come from the Hindi cow belt, the heartland of Hindi. And I'm deeply pained. I cry when I see the situation these are the Bimaru states, my own home state of UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, right? But these are the most, Rajasthan, these are the most, in terms of human development index, they are at the rock bottom. So every day I feel that they need good material. So I produce every day, translate a book into Hindi and put it on the archive.org.
Very nice class. Thank you so much for your class.
Thank you, madam.
Any more comments? Aravind പറഞ്ഞു മനസ്സിലായിട്ടുണ്ടാവും വിചാരിക്കുന്നു. ഇപ്പൊ അടുത്ത കാലത്ത് പുതിയ വീഡിയോസ് പോസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാറില്ല. നേരത്തെയുള്ള വീഡിയോസ് ഉള്ളത്. പുള്ളിക്ക് ആരോഗ്യ പ്രശ്നങ്ങളുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പൊ പക്ഷെ പ്രധാനമായിട്ടും പുസ്തകങ്ങൾ ട്രാൻസ്ലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നതാണ്. എവറി ഡേ ഹി ഈസ് ട്രാൻസ്ലേറ്റിംഗ് 1 book. ഓരോ ദിവസം ഓരോ ബുക്ക് വീതം ട്രാൻസ്ലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് കിട്ടാറുണ്ട് പലതും.
My email is arvindtoys@gmail.com. If any one of you would like to translate books into Malayalam, I think this would be a great service you'd be doing to the children and the teachers of Kerala. I'd be very pleased. Get in touch with me. I will send you books to translate, right, and upload it on the archive.org. That would be a great. I live in Pune, which is a very, in Maharashtra, which is again a very progressive state. There's 150 years of history of social revolution in Maharashtra, right from Jyotiba Phule. And we find very good people. We've got 1,000 books into Marathi. Though I can read Marathi because it's like my Devanagari, but I can't write very well. I can't speak very well. But I found there's such lovely people who translate books into Marathi, 1,000 books into Marathi.
So, if no more questions, Rizwan, are you there? if there are no more questions, we can slowly wind up.
സോമേട്ടൻ നന്ദി പറയും.
Soman Aravind, Soman is there, Jason Nathan.
Oh, very nice. I remember him from my BGBS days.
Yes.
Thank you.
പ്രിയമുള്ളവരെ, അരവിന്ദ് ഗുപ്തയുടെ നല്ല ഒരു സെഷനായിരുന്നു. കഴിഞ്ഞ നമ്മളിപ്പോ ഈ അപ്സൈക്ലിംഗ് എത്ര കാലമായിട്ട് അദ്ദേഹം ചെയ്യുന്നതാണ്, നമ്മളിപ്പോ തുടങ്ങിയിട്ടേ ഉള്ളൂ. The presentation by Mr. Aravind Gupta, a renowned educational expert in India and a Padma Shri Award holder, was very informative. On behalf of everyone, I thank him for these valuable words. Thank you everyone for your participation in this session. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Arvind.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
So, thank you, Aravind, again. On
Thanks,
behalf
KK,
of all
for
of us.
inviting me.
We'll
My
keep in
pleasure.
touch.
Yes.
Definitely.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.